think that's a very good idea, and I think we should emphasize to help children going back to their family and give some financial incentive. And that's all I will have for today. Bye.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Claire Fox. I'm the Executive Director of the Los Angeles Food Policy Council. Before you today is a proposal to pilot the Good Food Purchasing Program, item number 13. The Good Food Purchasing Program is a national program that helps local governments use public dollars for the public good by serving good food that better protects the health of people and the planet. GFPP can help LA County ensure that meals served to vulnerable populations in LA County facilities meet standards in nutrition, fair labor, environmental sustainability, local economic investment, and animal welfare. The county serves 37 million snacks and meals and purchases $23 million worth of food every single year. And in human terms, that accounts for hundreds of thousands of Angelinos who rely on county food programs, such as elders, veterans, hospital patients, and children. The county summer lunch program alone feeds more than 200,000 children every summer. I would like to acknowledge Supervisor Hahn and Supervisor Mark-Lily Thomas for your leadership in leveraging the county's food procurement power, and we recommend moving forward with the pilot. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, she thanks you.
I know, thank you. Appreciate you saying that.
Next speaker.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Lisa Carr with the American Heart Association in support of the Good Food Purchasing Policy. We believe that this is an opportunity to enhance the county's work to provide meals with the healthiest, high-quality ingredients possible. 500,000 people throughout LA County are currently experiencing or suffering from food insecurity, in some cases extreme food insecurity. I've had the opportunity to set up free produce markets in Hazard Park where hundreds of people line up to receive free produce. Many families rely on these nutrition services that are provided through the county, such as the summer lunch program. Good food should be a benefit regardless of income, and as we see it as a right. The Good Food Purchasing Program is an opportunity to get high-quality, nutrient-dense foods to families that need them the most. We support the advancement or the adoption of the pilot this summer to include the Good Food Purchasing Policy.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good afternoon. Amanda Staples with the American Heart Association. I just want to say thank you to Madam Chair and Supervisor Lily Thomas for the leadership on this item. We'd love to see this pilot be extended across all kinds of departments. We believe that over the past 10 years, the percent of American teens who have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or are considered pre-diabetic has risen from 9% to 25%. So it's trying to continue. Nearly 1 in 2 of Latino and Black children born after the year 2000 will develop type 2 diabetes in their lives. And so these staggering numbers, as a county, as seeing how we address and serve so many folks in need, and specifically these populations, we see this as an awesome opportunity to bring these dire numbers down, and also to support a healthy Los Angeles County. So thank you, and I make our own support.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Catalina with Day One. We provide alcohol and other drug prevention services to communities in the San Gabriel Valley. We're also part of the Rethinking Alcohol and Drugs Coalition, which was on Spot 3. And some of the other speakers we shared on item 21, we just wanted to thank the board and express our support for the amendments to the public smoking ordinance. Along with some other agencies, we're participating in the assessment of parks and other public spaces in the county. And we're hearing from residents there's a lot of social equity issues. A lot of people are definitely being exposed to marijuana at parks, and children who use these spaces are probably not comfortable. Families are not going out to parks, so we thank you. The main point I wanted to share also is that especially our unincorporated areas, we work with incorporated cities as well. We see the difference in a lot of folks out there don't know the regulations, are not aware of public smoking restrictions. So this is a great start, but we need a lot more. Resources to provide public education.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Eunices Hernandez. I am with Just Leadership USA. I'm the LA campaign coordinator. And I want to thank Supervisor Rudy Thomas and Fuel for really putting item 1D and 9 together. At this moment, we're at a critical juncture thinking about over 40% or close to 40% of the folks in our LA County jail system have some sort of mental health need. And so this motion really falls in line with the other motions that, for example, Supervisor Barger put together to identify the gaps in mental health services. And so it's really, moving forward with building an asylum is really putting the cart before the horse when you're putting all these motions together that would address and really support some of these individuals. So just to take that into consideration as we move forward.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, this is Lex stepping again from the Union Power Now. Similarly to what Eunice has just said, as both are members of the Just LA Coalition, the scaffolding of solutions is something that we want to see, and we want to see it seen through and done well. And so housing and human dignity are always the answers to the problems, and one thing that we've been met consistently when we brought forth our demands to depopulate and stop expanding LA County Jail is people say, well, where would people go? And people should have a chance to go home, and the reallocation of funds to home support holistically mental health services that are desperately needed in a county where it's at a crisis level, and do so through human dignity-based solutions like housing is extremely important. And I hope that we can articulate that connection and see that connection through, because it's going to help solve a lot of the problems that we're collectively trying to get you together. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, it's Yvette LA again with Californians United for Responsible Budget and the Justice LA Coalition. I want to again echo my colleague in commending Supervisor Rudy Thomas. You're my supervisor in District 2, and it is really encouraging to see motions that are really investing resources into housing, making the links with mental health and the need to provide those resources to our community. The link between mental health care and housing cannot be separated. You can't have sustained recovery and treatment if you don't have a home or a place to stay. We can't reduce our jail population if we don't have anywhere to bring our folks home to, as Lex alluded to. And so the investment that you are making today and that you're continuing to make with the reports that are going to be coming out are really encouraging for our communities and really laying the groundwork for a new Los Angeles that really takes care of its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I guess especially during this regentrification, I've been a resident of downtown for 16 years. Prior to that, again, I was born in Inglewood. I'm watching the progressive regentrification of downtown. I would think that now the city, county, et al. Should be more sensitive to the need. It's an imperative, I can't overstate that, for the construction of affordable housing. And on the contrary, what I see is more micro-lots, condominiums being created. So I think this is not only it's blatant maintenance of the status quo. It's blatant maintenance of status quo as the influx, of course, downtown of predominantly white or upper middle class residents. Okay, and again, I still see black people as the predominant majority of Skid Row residents. So this thing, again, is an easy solution in the continued assault and attack and extermination of black people. Okay, and I know this is engineered. This is engineered because I would be in the street if it wasn't for God and those that had helped me. I've been listed, labeled a terrorist for over 20 years. My child was taken. I fought right here, okay, and exposing the fact that every education petition against me was false in maintenance of the status quo. To cover up the pedophiles, that are getting the children, you place children in worse homes. My neighbor is a pedophile. I've called the DCFS, I don't want to digress, but the city or the county or the courts keep returning the boy to the pedophile. I've never been a pedophile, and my child was taken from me because I'm a black woman. I refuse to breed. No super hot battery charger, hot lunch for you rich white people. Okay? And exposing that maintenance of that status quo. Affordable housing and equal opportunity for real.
Okay.
For all people.
Next speaker, please. Oh, wait. We have one more call?
Yes, with Carlos and San Maria. He's requested to address the board on item 13. Please come forward.
Okay.
All right, next speaker, please.
Okay, George Mazzetti, got here 1D9, that's affordable housing, basically homeless stuff. And 1024, that's youth reinvestment and foster youth. All of this is surrounding that thing, that the wonderful show that Dr. Gupta put on CNN that all of you better watch if you want to deal with any of the problems. Because I am sure, by what I hear out of you fools, that none of you know how the mind works. None of you know what synapses are. None of you know what stress does to the frontal cortex to destroy its thinking power, to build up the fear center and the primal sections, okay?
Electronic weaponry.
Go watch it. Go watch it happen, the synapses. They're videoing this stuff now. What you're doing is forcing these people, when you built homeless housing for $505,000 each, over 6 years that you bragged about, I brought you an answer of $65,000 each, would have been $24,000. Now, how much could we have saved out of Dr. Sharon's pig mental health hospital that you threw me into? Your $1.8 billion in outside contractors at $500 a half an hour for a shrink that's a piece of trash. I have the contract from court. The charges that you laid down through Medicare on me in the mental health hospital, where supposedly Shrink saw me for an hour and a half a day, I never saw anybody. It's fraud. Now you extend that out over this whole stupid, filthy system. You people admitted here, you don't know where the money goes. You got no control on nobody. You're supposed to be the boss, and the boss tells the little punks what to do. I ran a business for 50 years. Internationally top at multiple fields. I don't know what your problem is.
All I know is I am not going to watch a TV show on stress. I get enough here on Tuesdays.
Then you don't know anything, so what the hell are you stupid?
Next speaker, please.
You just admitted you're a fool.
Next speaker, please.
Well, I'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
As you see, when we have proposals and we're dealing with homelessness and we're dealing with financing improvements, you heard it for the record by me, billions of dollars not being spent, creating a slush piggy bank. The same way Mike Fuhrer and his attorneys were doing the same with these so-called attorney fees. Now, I'm not the expert when you're stealing. I'm not the expert when you're involved with corruption. I'm not the expert that say to the DA or the city attorney, which most of you don't have the guts to say, fuck the police. But the truth is, it hurts to know that the city attorney, Mike Fuhrer, is stealing from all of you in the city, all of you in our county, and guess what? Fuck the police and fuck the DA and fuck the city attorney. That's right, little boys.
Next speaker.
Yes, so the point of order, the first time that the great Catherine Barger got her hand on the mighty gavel, Mr. Previn was entitled to his 3 minutes on all the items. He was only given a mere 2 minutes. And he became very upset. Yes, and that's what we appeal to Mary Wiggum. We know she's a queen.
Oh, I believe you're off topic.
Yes, well, and the point of order, of course, is that we have to run.
It's hard for me to tell anyone, really.
Yes, I know.
You're off topic. I think you're off topic.
I don't know, do you think so?
Well, I don't think so.
She was an attorney with the harbor.
Oh, she said I'm off topic and screwed. Okay, let's get back on topic. So let's get into all of these items here. One is
Opposed.
opposed. Number 9, 10, 11, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Affirm.
Affirm, yes, with unanimous consent, of course. So Senator Mary Wiggum can know for the record there's no objections. But you know, please, in the consent calendar, we will not tolerate dissent on the consent calendar. The law. So if anybody wants to descend, they will be taken to the parking lot, dragged over to Mike Furer's office, and into the rival building, so everybody goes by nothing, no matter what is said. So of course, please do not let Eric Previn leave here angry. Give him his 1 minute back. Do the right thing so the Catherine Barger era can begin in earnest. Thank you so much.
Next speaker.
Good evening, Red Chief Funds.
Oh, God.
That's plus housing. And Nick and myself did a great job. Thank you again. Also, moving on to the point where I went to the Lawson meeting in the slush fund. It was 40 or 45,000 rolled over to this year. But the programs are far in between, so they're not really housing people because they really don't know what they're doing if they're not working with housing for help. Second of all, or third of all, I have a great concern about children and family services and the way they're being operated. A couple years ago, the boy from Palmdale came up dead, and then this year, a girl from, I guess, Hacienda Heights came up in a suitcase. I have really great concerns when we have the manual to go in and train the people. Dr. Herschel Swinger in the early 2000s made the manual. I think we need to get Dr. Ronald Banks back out there because kids really mean something to me. That's a sore spot in my heart. So I wish we can get that done, and if we can send CII a check for $500,000, that's a critical program with the money that's being tossed around, things like that. A Children's Institute really need the money to help people and things like that. But on the other side, you know, I really think there's a problem with children and family services. Kids are coming up dead, and that's really so sad. You know, I don't know how to express that, but kids are in my heart and things like that. But I wish you could take a vote and get a new director for DSSF and make things happen the right way. It's not being done the right way. The grandmother called and reported the killer, and nothing happened. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. My name is Carlos Otamarin, here to speak on item 13. I'm a business representative for Teamsters Local 630 down here in downtown LA. We represent about 6,500 members in the produce and food service industries, and I'm here to express my support for the Good Food Purchasing Program. This program improves the transparency of labor practices along the supply chain by directing institutional purchasing towards ethical producers that provide safe and healthy working conditions, as well as fair compensation for all food chain workers and producers, from production to consumption. We believe that all workers deserve good jobs, good work.
I don't take it easy on anybody, Red Chief.
And respect. I encourage you to
She's a
move forward.
from hell, sold her dad out. Red Chief. You got your opinion, I got mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Any other speakers that would like to?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, that's the
I'm not
last
gonna do it for
speaker.
nobody,
Madam
Chief.
Executive Officer, please indicate.
I'm not doing it.
Item number.
No, I'm not going to.
The items before you are
She's a
items
cook.
1D, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 19,
almost had me killed,
21,
motherfucker.
22, 23,
No.
Supervisor Rhodes,
I'm gonna treat her the way she deserves to be treated, dude.
24A and 24B.
I'm asking that from the bottom of my heart. That
Okay,
doesn't matter to me.
Moved by Supervisor Solis, seconded by.
I don't have to.
Without objection.
I don't have to work with anybody. And I don't work on phony shit, Red Chief.
Our board on
Red Chief,
items
leave me alone.
the subject matter jurisdiction.
Get out of my way.
All of those members.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would the following individuals please come forward and staff will assist you? Iron Marie McPherson, Ashley Arona, Carlos Santamaria, Claire Fox, Eric Brevin, George Pavetti, Herman, James Soto, James Essex, Joanne Lowe, Larry Layton, Lawrence Dickerson, Lynn Lembeck, Mary Jacobs, Red Chief Hunt, Sandra Tamayo, Sarah Garcia, Valerie Coleman, Wayne Spindler, Janelle Sines, Yvonne Autry, Ezekiel Reyes, and Mary Jacobs.
Thank you. Mr. President, go ahead. Welcome again.
do that, it sends a signal that you're going to use discretion to silence people when you don't want to hear from them because they tweet or they say things, and it's totally inappropriate. And I don't understand how you can get away with it. And then your lawyers and Wickham pretend she's talking to something. I mean, it's just appalling. And I feel that you should not do that. I don't understand why you put in the kiosk that today, every day since you've been the chair, there's been a little red blinker that says, you only get 1 minute in public comment today because what? Because Sheila Kuhl tried persuading the world that if there are 10 people, that's too many for the board to sit in its place and listen to the public. I mean, I find that unacceptable, and I would like my time back, and now it's too late, and I'm going to have to file another lawsuit against you for violating, oh, it's not me, but other people get screwed by your draconian tactics.
To the end, and I would remind you that to refrain from applauding from the audience. Next speaker, please.
Okay, thank you. Please work with me. I've had brain surgery, so I need a little bit more time, okay? But good afternoon. My name is Andrew McPherson, Sheila Kuhl, Mark Ridley Thomas, Hilda Solis. They may know me from advocating for homelessness and the ADA rights, okay? As I said before, Andrew McPherson, I am a RAC member, Regional Community Advisory Committee member since 2009, and an Executive Community Advisory Committee chair with LA Care. And I'm also a health promoter since 2010, giving out important health information to the community on a person-to-person level, and I don't know for how long. I'm an advocate for ADA rights, and I was forced to sign a document with no ADA right within it. Now, by signing a contract, we have had to agree to be there for the health promoter program for 90% of the time and make up all trainings, or you will no longer be a part of the program.
Thank you.
Unless you are, what happens if you're not hospitalized? I mean, if you're hospitalized and you cannot be there for 90% of the time. The staff at LA Care.
If you would like to turn in your remarks, we'll be able to read them.
Who do I speak to about this? Because
can we have somebody meet with her and someone here? We'll meet with you down in the front row. Kathleen, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next speaker, please.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Sara García.
Good afternoon, my name is Sara Garcia.
También soy presidente de la comunidad Florence Firestone. Estoy aquí para pedir que se cumpla el plan de renovar la biblioteca de Florence, que sea parte del proyecto de construcción de bajo recursos.
And here, as a resident of the Florence Firestone community, and I'm requesting that the library become a part of the low-income housing development.
A la comunidad nos preocupa que el cambio reciente que fue hecho no se nos comunicó a la comunidad.
As a community, we are concerned that the recent changes were made without consulting members of the community.
Deja a nuestra biblioteca sin un hogar permanente es muy injusto para nuestra comunidad.
Leaving our library without a permanent location serves an injustice to our community.
La biblioteca nos ayuda a los niños y a jóvenes de nuestra comunidad en sus tareas, tiene libros a su alcance y les ayuda a los niños a desarrollar amor por los libros.
The library helps the youth of our community with their homework. Having books at their disposal helps them develop the love for books.
La biblioteca también apoya a niños de necesidades especiales y ofrece servicio de uso de computadora para niños y adultos.
The library also supports children with special needs and offers computer literacy programs for children and adults.
El Internet es gratuito para el servicio de muchos de nuestros niños para sus tareas.
Access to free internet also helps children so much with their homework.
Los padres y los niños dependemos de sus programas de verano.
Parents and children depend on the summer programs provided by the library.
La biblioteca es uno de nuestros pocos servicios gratuitos que está en nuestra comunidad. Se ofrece a un lugar seguro.
The library is one of the few services that is provided at no cost to our community and offers a secure place.
Como líderes, nosotros te pedimos que hagan algo por nuestra biblioteca.
As leaders of our community, we ask that you do the right thing for our community.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Ashley Lorona. I am a resident of the Florence Firestone neighborhood. I am here to express concerns regarding decisions made on projects in my community, specifically by Mark Ridley Thomas, without considerable input from our community. We believe Mark Ridley Thomas is taking advantage of the unincorporated status of Florence Firestone and making unilateral decisions residents not agree with. Today I am here to speak about the AMCA housing project and the displacement of the Florence Library as well. I, as well as literally thousands of residents and supporters, believe that the AMCA housing project should stop for reasons stated in this letter I will now like to present to you, Mr. Mark Ridley Thomas. In this letter, we are demanding the pause of the AMCA housing project, for we believe environmental and social impact reports should be done, as well as sufficient surveying and input from residents, and until the Florence Library has a permanent home the community agrees with. Additionally, we are requesting a town hall in Florence Firestone where we can address this and other concerns of the community. We are disappointed with the lack of transparency coming from your office and how you are prioritizing your legacy and investment over what the community wants and needs.
Thank you.
We look forward to your response.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please.
All right, hi, my name is Mary Jacobs, and my property has been, I guess, taken over by a receivership, which is going to cost $180,000 plus $90,000 for armed guards, plus about $120,000 for the lawyer who's going to sue me from the county, plus another, I don't know, whatever it is, about $500,000 in the property. Land, which is what will be left, is worth approximately $200,000. So mine is $300,000. I don't know if I'll owe it you. And with that in mind, I would like to donate my property, since there's nothing left of it, to HUD. And I have come up with a proposal, a pilot program, to create housing for small groups of people that are either mentally ill, elderly, single with maybe one kid, like people that are the dregs of society, the ones that live in my property, except we do it the right way. This is what it would look like.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
More to come.
Next speaker, please.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Octavia Espinosa.
Good afternoon, my name is Octavia Espinosa.
Estoy aquí como miembro residente de la comunidad Florence Firestone.
I'm here as a member of the Florence Firestone community.
He venido a pedirles que se cumpla lo que le prometieron a la comunidad. Queremos que la biblioteca se quede en la primera planta del nuevo proyecto de vivienda de bajos recursos que va a tomar el lugar de la biblioteca.
And requesting the fulfillment of a promise made to our community, we would like for our library to remain in focus of the new low-income housing development.
Estamos inconformes y molestos por la mayoría de la comunidad. No se nos avisó que la biblioteca ya no iba a ser parte del proyecto y que iba a estar temporalmente en el parque.
We are displeased and bothered because the majority of the community was not properly notified that the library was not going to be a part of the project, and that this was going to be, it was going to be temporarily relocated to a park.
El parque no es un lugar adecuado para la biblioteca, porque hay mucho ruido y no es un lugar seguro para los niños ni para los jóvenes. En el parque se ve mucho uso de drogas y alcohol.
The park is not an adequate location for a library because of the high noise levels and the safety issues affecting children and teenagers because of drug and alcohol use in the park.
Les pedimos que escuchen a las voces de nuestra comunidad. Aquí les presento más de 1,000 firmas en petición en donde abogamos por nuestra querida biblioteca Florence Firestone. Gracias por su tiempo.
We ask that you listen to the voices of the community. I present to you today more than 1,000 signatures petitioning for our dear library, Florence Firestone. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors.
Good afternoon.
Allowing me this time to speak. My name is Sandra Tamayo, and I am a longtime resident of Florence Firestone and a former president of Florence Firestone Community Leaders. I've had utilized the Florence Library for the past 30 years, and I was very disappointed to learn of the closing of the Florence Library. I was still checking out books as of last month, and I received a letter in the mail saying that it was going to be closed in a few days. I don't think that was enough warning to give patrons.
The Florence Library has provided not only library resources, but access to public services to the northern Florence Firestone community, and has provided a sanctuary to students who have no other place to go after school. Patrons rely on the services provided by the Florence Library. And it is important to save the Florence Library and to relocate it or open it somewhere that's centrally located and with access to public transportation.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Janet Simons. I'm a Florence Firestone resident as well, and I'm here today on behalf of the Florence Library. Along with the letter that we just submitted, we're also submitting 7,000 signatures and hundreds of comments collected from an online petition. 7,000 signatures and counting. The importance of this library is undeniable in our community. One of the comments submitted states that this library means so much to me in times of crisis. When I was a child, I buried my nose in books. If they move this library, not only would it be a disservice, it would negatively impact the community, and I agree. The Florence Firestone community was only officially informed that the Florence Library was closing only 3 days prior to its closure. And we still have not been informed on a specific timeline for construction or anything else. We do not accept that due to funding issues and a cost-benefit analysis that the Florence Library was pulled from the initial plan to have it on the first floor of affordable housing. There is a clear lack of transparency regarding this project and frankly other projects that are popping up in Florence Firestone. And we are really insulted by the motion put forth by Mark Lee Thomas that states that the library is not currently needed for any county purpose.
Thank you.
Hashtag Thank Florence Library.
Next speaker, please.
Honorable Board of Supervisors, my name is Larry Layton. I'm from Encino. Torts by the court. Please look at the minutes to the trial where mental health court appointed a conservator to run my life like I belong to the conservator instead of God. On 8/29/07 in the case still in litigation today, California Superior Court identifies as a complaint what was not a complaint but what was actually a demand and does not identify the number of any code violation. The minutes read, complaint, appoint a public guardian, stage a disposition, probate after trial, after evidence by the court, dispo after trial, after evidence by both the court. Without identifying a complaint, I was conserved for life or until I confessed to the need for medicine. They sort of twist my arm by trying to compel me to testify against myself by confessing to the need for medicine. Please see arrow on public docket attached to this letter, identifying what should have been a complaint but what was actually a demand. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Ezekiel Reyes. As the area of people move forward and feeling this summer raise, finding ways to help those that are dealing with homelessness should lean more towards finding ways to helping them come across food a lot easier, faster. A lot of the homeless right now are dealing with lack of food and lack of funds, and believe it or not, some of them go through without eating for at least 3 days out of the week, and most only eat once a day. So we need to remember that cold weather torments one way by stiffening up a person's body whenever they're finally waking up after their night out at sleeping, but so too does the heat play a certain aspect on affecting a person's way to be able to come to the proper reasons of issues. Homeless turn down many aspects of supposed programs that help them, but a lot of the reasonings has to do with the simple fact that they can't work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
I'd also like to support what he's saying. To eliminate the homelessness in one of the richest cities in the entire world, it is engineered against predominantly black people that put in the trash in the reservoir of sex slaves, pedophiles, vampires, cannibals, especially those that are moving down and they consider black need to be a delicacy. Young women like me in the sex slave and human sex trafficking ring. And I'd also like to expose the fact that the electronic weaponry that is being used to break people down so that they become homeless. A lot of the Mexican Hispanic men are commissioned by some of the landlords and other Zionist, Jewish, and Caucasian powers that be to break down unsuspecting victims, targeted individuals, some who are Caucasian as well, Okay, because people are not aware to the degree that electronic weaponry is used to attack the mind and the body, causing debilitating mental and physical disabilities. Many become homeless and then are medicated, and that's more revenue for your system. It's a very evil system.
Next speaker, please.
Technology to break down Americans.
Go ahead, next speaker.
George Pizzetti.
Go ahead.
First, we're with that man up here who obviously has no business having a conservator. Are you aware that Brad Lund of the Disney family is in the Patton State Mental Hospital? We watched this in court with the judge and prosecutor attorney laughing at this man. We're going to get him out of there. You guys got some real trouble coming. Now, you cannot shut down a library. What are you going to do to those youth and those people in that area? My parents used to take me to the library every week. Not a public speaking. A member of the public shall not be required as a condition to attendance at a meeting of a legislative body of a local agency to register his or her name or to provide any other information. Shut down your stupid machines. I gave you this crap 6 years ago. And since it's so stupid, Mary Wicked Witch Wickham, maybe I don't read this shit, huh?
Next speaker.
Oh, our sister, you're so dumb, you can see how stupid you are.
Next speaker. Herman, are you speaking next?
Oh, yeah. So, again, a lawyer in your office quits after fee. But he was only making $250,000, $460,000 a year. And yet, Mr. Fauble, whose bar license number, Ms. Wickham, at 247653, living with his lover, James Felipe, at Maryland Apartments off of Union in Pasadena, is stretching the law in the wrong direction, suppressing public speakers by interrupting the floor. And I have the floor. Again, anyone interested in a corrupted lawyer, go up to 80 North Euclid Avenue in zip code 91101 for the record. Otherwise, you deal with the jackass, you give the jackasses what they want. Come here and protest, fuck Mike Fuhrer and fuck the DA.
All right, next speaker. Go ahead, Wayne.
So, I want to say thank you to the Sheriff's Department. You've exonerated Ed Buck of this ridiculous, idiotic investigation because a white man is gay and he sleeps with black men. You got to think that there's an overdose conspiracy. You had 2 separate incidences. The Sheriff's Department vetted it. Both of these men were accidental overdoses. There was no anything wrong with Ed Buck. And that's why I told you, you can't mess with Janice Hahn, but also in LA County, don't fuck with Ed Buck. Ed Buck is an institution. He has given millions of dollars to charity. He's not going to sit there and kill anybody. He's a nice guy. Just because he's gay and he prefers a black man, that don't make you guilty. God bless Ed Buck. Thank you, Sheriff.
Hey, James. Been waiting for you.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you. 35 million years ago, dolphins started to develop echolocation that allowed them to be on top of the ocean under the stars. Now, if there is a language of the stars, the dolphins certainly understand it. And it's probably because of their frontal lobes being so large. And they've had 35 million years, 3,500 years ago, this body here was given a template that is just a miracle upon this earth, because we allow everybody to come and everybody to have their say. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, I'm thinking that LA would be an excellent candidate to be a bridge that was like this from 3,500 years ago, respecting the cetaceans, the ocean is 4 fifths right here, and only land is only 1/5. So,
Thank you.
that's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is our last supervisor. Supervisor Willie Jones, do you want to make a comment?
I thought it would be appropriate, Madam Chair, with your permission. Let me thank the constituents from Florence Firestone who came to exercise what is be understood as their civic duty, or in other words, to express their concern about
That was awesome. Awesome.
I think it's appropriate that I clarify that the library is not closed indefinitely, but has merely been moved to a temporary location while the search continues for an optimal location for the library. A library that is very tiny, that was not in good physical condition. We did upgrades to the library, and yet I think that library deserves, or that community deserves, a library that's expanded, that is state-of-the-art, etc. And we can get that done. I think it's fair to say that we discussed here at the board, Los Angeles is faced with a severe housing shortage, and we have an obligation to provide safe, clean, affordable housing to families.
Hey, Wayne,
Those families
the library for housing.
community that helps
Huh?
individuals.
I got it here. Yeah. Wayne, 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Like I told her, she had a unique opportunity to collaborate with the adjacent property owner.
Yeah, no, he did.
Commercial structure and so forth. That,
Crybaby. I know.
You know, it's just because the guy's white prefers black men.
So what?
They put that shit on the
Yeah.
That buck didn't do shit.
You got the right to fuck what you want.
That buck didn't do a fucking thing. This conversation is going on
See ya.
for at least 3 years, and the project is now ready to move into construction. We brought forth to the community a proposal that would move the library to the Constituent Services Facility on Compton. After receiving input, that proved not to be acceptable to some constituents, although we would have doubled the size of the library and made it what we think would be appropriate, on par with the range of other libraries we have built in East Rancho, Culver City, and Carson, Medina, Mondale, Lenox, Willowbrook, and View Park. We've done libraries all over the 2nd District, and I think Florence Firestone certainly deserved to have a good library, but the feedback was not what we had hoped, and therefore we continue to move forward. The head librarian is here, prepared to engage. The search continues to build a brand new Florence library that is second to none. In the meantime, the community is encouraged to utilize the temporary library located just a block away from the previous location, as well as the Graham Library located in the nearby community as well. Libraries are important. They are fundamental features of our communities, and Florence Firestone certainly deserves to continue that, but not only that, it deserves an upgrade of consequence, which it will, in fact, receive. For the record, Madam Chair and colleagues.
Thank you. And now would be appropriate to go to adjournment. We will
Okay.
2.